Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here. So if you read the title or the thumbnail of the video, you probably already know what the main topic of this will be. The video will be split in two different parts. The good things in Battlefield 5 and the bad things. Don't get me wrong, I'm having an immense amount of fun playing Battlefield 5 for the reasons that will be stated in this video. However, I don't feel as though Battlefield 5 is a full game at all. I'm even ready to say that it is an early access title at best, but nowhere near a full game. Also, some points might seem a little nitpicky, but when it comes to EA and a AAA game developer, you need to be. Otherwise, they will repeat a disaster like Star Wars Battlefront 2 and never learn any lessons. Now, I'm warning you, this video might be a tad lengthy, so strap yourselves in and get a drink. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get stuck into the good parts of Battlefield 5. The gunplay in Battlefield 5 is probably the best the franchise has ever seen. Of course, that is based on mostly personal experience. For me, Battlefield 1's gunplay was mediocre at best, replacing skill for mostly RNG-based mechanics. It got stale pretty quick. In Battlefield 5, most of the annoyances or grievances I had with the previous title were removed, such as random bullet deviation and suppression, raising the skill ceiling of the game and providing the player means to actually outskill the opponents. The more you use a weapon, the better you will get with it, which is what I enjoy. The moment-to-moment gameplay of Battlefield 5 is highly enjoyable and action-packed. Rarely will I find myself in a quiet spot with nothing happening around me. There is always a teammate to heal, resupply, or enemies to take down, or even fortifications to build, but it is not overwhelming at the same time because of stuff like explosive spam, among many others, which has notably been fixed in Battlefield 5. There is a lot less explosive spam, especially grenade spam, seeing as there are so few ways to actually resupply a grenade, which is great. In Battlefield 5, we finally have a real progression system as opposed to the half-assed system from Battlefield 1. Unlocking things and working towards max class rank or leveling up a weapon to get more cosmetics for or more specializations feels rewarding. You have many things to work towards at any given time with up to 4 assignments which you choose: medals, daily orders, class rank, weapon level, overall rank. It's fun and engaging, which is important, and a large step above its predecessor in Battlefield 1, which was pretty much just battle packs and, unlocking weapon variants. Maps for the most part are well designed and fun to play with a few exceptions here and there on certain game modes, but nothing that can't be fixed. They also feel quite varied and are of course quite beautiful. They allow players to engage in CQB and longer range combat while allowing vehicles to get a piece of the action as well, without infantry players feeling completely useless. Most maps have a good amount of vertical gameplay and lots of flanking routes, allowing to get some back rages going on the enemy team when in dire situations. Squad play is miles beyond what it was before. At first, I was skeptical about attrition and revive animations. However, the more I play, the more I see how they bring teamwork together. Of course, you will always get the average blueberry who doesn't know what the fuck they are doing, but it is like that in every game you play. I didn't really feel like I was getting revived less or resupplied less than previous games, and it was even possibly increased. Also, the fact that the more a squad works together, the more requisition points the squad leader gets is a nice way to reward people for sticking together as a squad, which we didn't really have in Battlefield 1. And despite the fact that Battlefield 5 heavily promotes teamwork, I didn't really find myself at a disadvantage when playing mostly solo. So in squads of randoms, there was always ways for me to resupply and heal myself with the resupply and healing stations, or just generally picking up ammo off of dead enemies that I had just disposed of. So I know a lot of people are saying that Battlefield 5 playing alone is really bad, but I didn't really find that to be accurate. Now to talk about weapons. Despite the limited choice, most weapons feel unique and different enough so that you have variety in the way you approach combat situations. They are fun to use, and the new specialization tree allows you to further tailor a weapon to your playstyle. Now there is still some balancing to do in this category, notably the SMGs that are the laughingstock of all the other weapons, but this will be addressed quite soon. Now unfortunately, this is where my praises for the game stops. It's time to jump into the more negative aspects of Battlefield 5 and why I feel like it is an unfinished early access title. From what I have experienced thus far, the netcode is worse than it was in Battlefield 1. I have been killed countless times by what seems as a 1 or 2 shot kill, or more accurately known as super bullets. And I have seen many other people have this problem, which is more than likely due to poor server, tick rate / netcode performance. I would be curious to see a network test on Battlefield 5 by Battle Nonsense, however I believe that this will be limited due to the lack of RSP. Maybe later down the line one can hope, but this needs to be addressed because a lot of people have been having a lot of issues and saying that they're getting killed in one single bullet and blaming X or Y weapon of being overpowered when it is clearly the server performance that is to blame. Performance is also a serious downgrade from the beta, with frame drops to hitches to general stuttering, even with future frame rendering turned on, which gives me noticeably higher input lag. Battlefield 5 seems to have these issues. I've always known that Battlefield was a demanding game on hardware, but stuttering and game microfreezes and hitches are not always due to hardware limitations. The number of bugs and glitches is uncanny. Some bugs that were in the beta are still in the full release of the game despite there being a month of delay. However, I do suspect that this delay was primarily for monetary reasons more than anything else. So here are a few bugs I have encountered quite frequently since I started playing Battlefield 5. Footstep sounds that are missing, which makes it incredibly difficult to pinpoint enemies or know when somebody's sneaking up on you, which gives for incredibly frustrating situations. General audio bugs making all sounds inconsistent. Sometimes they play, sometimes they don't, like weapon sounds, explosive sounds, and ambient sounds that were completely cut off in certain moments. Weapon bugs such as scoping problems, problem with all the sights which require you to die to reset to just simply holding a weapon very awkwardly, mounted machine gun bugs on tanks such as firing rounds from your hands, the turret not turning whatsoever, aiming down sights but not having any iron sights, vaulting bugs which prevent you from getting out of danger, getting out of water, and generally just being quite poor. Revive bugs which for the most part were fixed 2 days later, but still experiencing some instances in which bodies fall through the map when reviving or bodies sliding 20 feet away after reviving. So these are some of the bugs which I have noticed the most, but don't be shy and let me know which bugs you have experienced the most in the comment section down below, as I might have not experienced them yet, or I might have missed them seeing as I maybe didn't experience them a lot. Another Battlefield title, yet we still have problems with the bombers being unbalanced versus infantry players. I don't care what people say with the get good argument, that is not an argument. Proper balancing should be done and bombers shouldn't be able to get 15 kills 10 seconds into a match because they have a fully decked out JJU. Now I know that fighters are good at taking out bombers, but if there is nobody skilled enough to do so on your team, it becomes incredibly frustrating to be able to actually, just fight on the ground and just get constantly bombed by these people who just spam the planes left, right, and center. And this becomes even more of an issue when they are on the losing team, as the vehicle respawn rate is highly increased, which is something that I'll get to a little bit later. So moving on, the complete and utter lack of a team balancer, which makes for some insanely boring matches. I have seen games in which one team was fully stacked and the other had a single person, and the team balancer would do nothing, and people can't switch teams by design. So yeah, I think that is enough said on that subject. It needs to be looked at as soon as possible. We've always had team balancing issues in Battlefield, and it still hasn't been fixed. But the fact that we can't switch teams really doesn't help this. The Conquest catch-up mechanic is a damn joke. No matter how many people tell me, well, do you prefer steamroll games or close matches? No, I don't prefer games in which one team mops the floor with the other one. However, artificially making the games close will never replace a proper team balancer in skill-based matchmaking, no matter how hard you try. And the fact that this handicap kicks in after as little as a 50 ticket deficit is absurd. You can be winning and controlling all the points, and then all of a sudden the enemy team comes back, and since they can cap the flag twice as fast as you can, they then go into the majority of the flags, and it's not even fun to play against. And they also get increased vehicle spawns. So the vehicles spawn at an increased rate. So even if you do destroy their tank, which has been harassing you from base, well, guess what? They're going to get another one pretty damn fast, and you probably won't even have one in the next 1 to 2 tank spawns that they would get. So this needs to be looked at and fixed as soon as possible. The menu UI is absolutely atrocious. Why do I need to click 5 to 7 times to get to a single weapon specialization menu, and then needing to equip my other weapon to equip specializations on that one? Why is there so many clicks to do any simple action? Why not just have something like a simple menu such as play game, which would be matchmaking, server browser option, customization or your company, whatever you want to call it, assignments, and more, without having all these options and blocks everywhere, making you spend endless amount of time in a menu which should be simple and quick to get where you want to go. Also, on that note, why is it that when Conquest or any other game mode isn't in the featured game modes in the play game section of Battlefield 5, you can't for the life of you find a server in the server browser for the game mode you want to play? You absolutely have to use Quick Match. From what I've seen so far, if Conquest isn't in the featured game modes of that week, I can't find a match of Conquest in the server browser. I have to use Quick Match, and then it just throws me into a game instantly that's possibly not even in my region. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I don't even know why there is a Quick Match option, to be honest. I've never been a fan of it. Why not just have a section for the server browser for people who want to do that, as opposed to having to click on play game, then click on advanced search, or click on the game you want to play with the 3 little dots, then go list servers, then be able to finally put in your filters. There's just too much clicking in Battlefield right now to get to something simple that should be on the main menu and not buried under all of these other sub-menus. A lot of features are missing from the game, from basic UI and HUD elements to vehicle customization, teammate dragging, shooting range, co-op mode, and rent-a-server program, which should all have been there at launch, as opposed to releasing them with subsequent patches. Why are we getting less stuff with every Battlefield title that comes out at launch and only getting it months down the line? In my honest opinion, there needs to be 3 years between titles, because 2 years is apparently too little time for the devs to give the consumers a fully finished game. But then again, EA is the publisher, so I doubt that will ever happen. We still have issues with spawning on teammates under fire, which is very frustrating for both parties, be it the shooter or the person spawning on the teammate. I thought this was under wraps in Battlefield 1. Why are we regressing? Also, spawns in general are a damn mess. I can't even count how many times I have spawned in front of an enemy, or an enemy has spawned in front of me, only to get instantly mowed down and sent back to the spawn screen. It's incredibly frustrating and shouldn't happen nearly as often as it is happening right now. Bipods in Battlefield 5 are a goddamn nuisance. You can barely put them down on a ledge, and when they finally do deploy, it's at the worst possible time. The bipod system in Battlefield 1 was fine. I don't see why they felt they needed to change it. I mean, if we go with the famous quote, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Furthermore, how is it that I constantly see people in chat saying they are stuck in the deploy screen? I mean, in the beta it was forgivable, but in a fully launched game, shit like this shouldn't happen. I was getting frustrated in the beta when I was stuck in the deploy screen and had to actually exit and find another game, but in the full launch of the game, it shouldn't happen. You should just be able to spawn, not have stupid bugs like these. So I'm sure I missed some bugs or grievances which I haven't yet experienced, so please feel free to leave all those in the comments down below. I would love to know what your experience with Battlefield 5 is so far. Do you agree with me that you think it should be a longer development time for Battlefield titles now, and that they just are launching them in a complete incomplete state, as funny as that sounds? But yeah, just leave all that in the comment section down below. So this video has dragged on for more than enough time. Again, I'm having fun playing the game, but I can't help but feel as though Battlefield 5 simply isn't finished, and that there should be more time in between games instead of rushing something. It's not okay to knowingly release a half-baked game at launch, no matter how fun it is. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you will wait a little longer before picking up Battlefield 5 till it's actually finished, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I try to release Battlefield and other first-person shooter-related content pretty much every day. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.